for some screaming heavy metal? We rock!
But the evil that men do lives on.
We gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, a hard-hitting show featuring all things hard rock and heavy metal. And now here are your hosts, the Twins of Chaos, Clint Switzer and Paul Lagana.
Well, Paul, this is it, our pre-Rocklahoma edition of the Music Mania podcast. Whether there will be any more shows after this remains to be seen. If we survive our trip to Pryor, Oklahoma to see the Scorpions, it remains to be seen. Will we make it back?
I'm hoping so.
Well,
my problem is it's going to be 3 days of total party, so I should be back in one piece.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have previous experience. A mutual friend of ours, Eric Clausen, we went down in 2007 when the very first year of Rocklahoma, back when there were still actually 80s bands that were featured throughout the entire event. I mean, there was Cinderella, Poison. I think Vince Neil headlined tonight. Twisted Sister, Dokken, Warrant. I mean, it was all 80s bands. We camped out for 3 days. It was muddy. It was rainy. I remember one of the nights our tent blew in half, and Eric and I just said F it and slept in the mud. I'm not kidding. My ex-girlfriend came with us, which is another disaster. Swear to God, that girl slept with half the bands that were out there. We lost her for 2 days. Paul, it was crazy. But, we're a little older now, a little wiser. And I think we can stay the course and make this event truly spectacular because for us, it's about the Scorpions and seeing them for the first time. 50th anniversary tour for them. Cannot wait.
Right. And for me, that is exactly what it is seeing the Scorpions, because I've been waiting to see them for 35 years, Clint. 35 years, ever since Blackout. And that's when I became a big fan at that point. So
that's about the time they broke into the mainstream United States. It's gonna. Let me read you off, though, guys. This is the Saturday lineup at Rocklahoma, and I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed because there's some big acts, some really good bands at Rocklahoma. But Saturday night, the main night when the Scorpions are going to be rocking, this is what we have up against. Of course, headlined by the Scorpions, Three Doors Down, Collective Soul, Hell Yeah, Bullet for My Valentine, Seven Dust, P.O.D., Texas Hippie Coalition, Hatebreed, Devil Driver. I don't know. I'm sorry. I know I lost. You started looking away. I lost you, I think, after Collective Soul.
Almost after Scorpions, actually, but that's neither here nor there.
Can we endure this? Can we endure this day? I mean, I think that sometimes live music permeates it. Live music kind of takes away the doldrums a little bit. Even if it's a band you're not that excited to see, it's kind of like, hey,
right.
Grab a seat.
Yeah,
have some
and
fun.
I'm going there just to see what it's all about as well.
That's a good point.
I've never been there, so what was it, 07?
Yeah, it's his 10th year coming up here.
So, I definitely had this on my bucket list.
Well, here we go, Paul. It is on. We're heading down there, hoping to do some features, maybe a show from down there. Not sure quite yet what our internet access is going to be at Rocklahoma, Pryor, out in the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. Hopefully, guys, that we return and do another show for you. And thank you guys so much for listening. We have a great show today. We're going to be having a great conversation with Mr. Steve Lynch. He's the guitar player from Autograph, a band that a lot of people, of course, remember from the 80s. Turn Up the Radio, one of the biggest rock hits of the 80s, biggest arena rock, songs from that era, and it still permeates to this day. People go out and see this band because of that song. That's the truth. And Steve Lynch is a great guitar player. In fact, he had a little run-in with Eddie Van Halen when they opened for Van Halen in 1984 that we're going to talk about because of the guitar techniques that both of the guitarists use, man. So Steve Lynch, great guy. Can't wait to get into it with him.
Absolutely. And one thing about Autograph that I remember, not only Turn Up the Radio and that The Sign and Peace was basically their first mainstream album, but just the incredible amount of movies at that point that song was featured in. I mean, you're talking like Father Like Son, Fright Night,
Youngblood was it one of them, and
right.
we're missing the Secret Admirer, the Corey Haim movie. Right. Yeah.
The song was an immediate impact on the country, I think, at that point.
It was, and they were able to reform in 2011 without original singer Steve Plunkett. They're back out there. They're doing the cruises. They're doing a lot of the festivals. They're going to be here in Kansas City, May 28th with Bang Tango, at the Scene. So definitely hit up that show, man. Autograph. And Steve Lynch, he's kind of the head guy of the band. He's one of the original members. He started this thing. They decided to go out without Steve Plunkett, who basically told him, "Hey, I can't do this anymore. I have a job. My voice can't make it through extensive touring." So here they are, man. So go to autograph band.com to check out all the dates they have. They have several shows coming up here this summer, and it's going to be great for them to get back, because that song, it's just one of those songs you hear it, and what do? Well, it's cliched, but you turn up the radio when you hear it.
Absolutely. I think I do every time. So, yeah.
It has a tome on Hair Nation, yeah. It's in the rotation, right?
Absolutely. Hair Nation and Sirius XM, you'll hear it about every 10th song there on Channel 39, but... again, everybody needs to check this band out, and I can't wait to talk to them.
And it is our pleasure here on the Music Mania podcast to welcome our very special guest this week. It is Mr. Steve Lynch from Autograph. Steve, welcome to the show, man. How's everything going?
Everything's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, it's a pleasure for us, man. I'll tell you what, we got the big show coming up here in Kansas City. You're going to be here on Saturday, May 28th with Bang Tango at the Scene Rock Bar. Man, we're really excited about it, and just kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit. You guys have been really busy. Tour's going great. The reviews are wonderful, man. Seen a lot of videos. How's it feel to be out there playing these songs and just being on the road? And you guys are as busy as you've ever been, really.
Yeah, I mean, we took a 25-year hiatus, and I didn't really expect to be doing this again, but me and Randy, the bass player, started talking about it, and we just thought, it'd be good to go out and do it again. And we started talking to the original drummer and everything. Unfortunately, he didn't work out. He had some health issues, and then the original singer, Steve Plunkett, he wasn't able to do it because he's got so much going on with the movie and the television stuff. He just doesn't have the time to do it. And he said, my voice won't hold out on a tour any longer. When you get a little bit older, the voice is the first thing to go. So he said, my voice can't handle it either. So, but he gave us this blessing and said, have a great time out there. So anyway, so then we started looking for the new singer, Simon Daniels, and he worked out great. He was with Jailhouse when he was Daniels. Daniel Simon's actually back then. Now he's Simon Daniels. So he just switched it around to try to confuse everybody.
Sure.
And then we got a drummer on his suggestion, and everything's been working out great. We got a new EP released January 7th called Louder that you can find at autographband.com or on our Facebook website. But everything's going great. I'm going down tomorrow to record on a couple of new songs, and then we're going to be leaving next Wednesday to start our tour again.
Well,
I can't wait to get to Kansas City. Haven't been there since I don't know how long.
It might have been 85, to be honest, 85 or 87, I think, and that's unbelievable. And it's just great to see the band Autograph back. I mean, it's such a band that sticks out. You say Autograph, everybody knows this band, and of course you, Steve Lynch. I mean, the guitar playing. I mean, one of the great guitar players of the era. People still talking about that to this day. But I mean, you talked about reforming in 2011, and then Simon Daniels coming in. I mean, am I to hear this correctly? You guys found him on YouTube and just kind of brought him on, and it worked from there. Is that how it went?
Yeah, it was Larry Moran, the guy that does the Monsters of Rock cruises. He recommended him, and so we went on YouTube and listened to a couple of his videos, and we just thought, this guy would work out perfect. He's got a great voice. He'd be able to do the autograph stuff great because he's right in that range, and he's got a great look. And then when we met him, he's had a great attitude, great work ethic, and everything. And so we said, hey, let's do it. And so we all just decided to do it, and it's just been working out fantastic. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better lead singer to replace Steve, and I couldn't have asked for a better drummer to replace Kenny. So everything's working out very, very well.
Steve, the rumor has it Autograph was named after Def Leppard's song Photograph. How did that all go down?
I don't even know where that rumor came from. That's the funny thing, is that people can post anything and on the internet. But I wouldn't believe it unless it's from one of the band members. But actually, the way that we got the name was we were, on our way traveling from Los Angeles to Jacksonville, Florida, to play our first opening act gig with Van Halen. And that was January 18th, 1984. I remember because it was my birthday. my 29th birthday at that time. And anyway, so we thought of a name on the way to Jacksonville because we didn't really have a name yet. So we wrote down, 10 names each on a piece of paper, on 5 different pieces of paper. There was 5 members back then. And then we passed them around, and everybody crossed out names that they didn't like. And there was only 2 left at the end of it. There was Red Cross and Autograph, and we just thought, we kind of have a signature sound. Let's go with Autograph for the time being, and then we can change it after the tour. Well, after the Van Halen tour, of course, we played in front of, hundreds of thousands of people, so we thought, well, we can't. And then we got signed to RCA with that name, so we decided, well, we have to keep it now. So it's stuck, and it's worked out well. So. Well,
you talk about the Van Halen tour. That wasn't maybe the best experience. I mean, obviously it was huge for visibility for the band, but you guys had some restrictions. I mean, you did. I mean, Eddie Van Halen, and I'm just saying this right now, I'll call him out. I think he was worried about you showing him up. He was not wanting you to do your double tap shredding technique. Is that correct? Like he was like, do not do that. I mean, is that how it went?
Well, this is what happened when before the first night that we went on, their tour manager, Noel Monk was his name, and he came up to me and said, "Are you the guy, Steve Lynch, that wrote that book on the two-handed technique?" And I said, "Yeah, I wrote that back in basically 1978. I think the first printing was 79. And he goes, "Well, you can't use that technique on the tour. That's Eddie's thing."
Yeah.
And I said, what? And I was saying, you got to be kidding, right? Because I said, look at there's all these jazz players and Harvey Mandel and everything, and all these guys, this Italian guy, in the 60s that was doing it, on classical guitar. I told him about all these guys that did it. I said, that's not Eddie's thing. That's been around for a long time. I got the idea from Harvey Mandel, the guy up here in Seattle named Steve Buffington, and he was doing it all the time, and he showed me some stuff. And so I said, I've been doing this since, the early 70s. I just decided when I went to the school that I was going to write everything down that I was learning there and do it two-handed, especially after I saw the guy, Emmett Chapman, do it on the Chapman stick, that instrument, the stick, where you play it with both hands. And he just blew me away when we did a clinic at GIT when I went there. And so I asked him some things, too, and it was right in the beginning of the year when I was starting to go there. He said, well, you know how to play this pentatonic scale? We'll play this one, the next position up with your right hand. I went, okay. And he showed me how to do it, and I did it. And then from that point on, just wrote everything down. And that turned into my first book, and then I wrote 2 more after that. But I was really disappointed that, that they would come up and lay those kind of restrictions on me, because I looked at it like, what, am I not supposed to use a guitar pickup? Am I not supposed to use a pick? I mean, what else did Eddie invent? Did he invent the electric guitar? So I have to play acoustic up there. I really kind of got in this guy's face, because I wasn't too happy. I mean, it's like telling somebody their own technique that they've written a book on. And so I'm going, really? Really, guys? Yeah, they put a lot of restrictions on us. But, that was a lot to do with their management, too. We could only use a quarter of the lights, a quarter of the PA, only 1 spotlight instead of the 6 that they had. And so they just put a lot of restrictions on us. And I actually didn't feel that tour was a very good experience, because, I could tell the sound guys out front, and they weren't letting our sound guy have anything. The lighting guy, they weren't letting our guy run anything. So I could tell what it was sounding like out front and stuff. So when we went on tour next, it was with, like Aerosmith and Motley Crue and all that. And they just said, yeah, you guys can have whatever you want. It was just great touring with everybody else we went out with. It was just the Van Halen was the bad experience. Everybody else was great. Well, and even Michael Anthony, from the bass player from Van Halen, he was coming into our dressing room all the time. He was partying with us, and he would walk, right off the stage with his Jack Daniels bass still on and a bottle of Jack Daniels, walk into our dressing room and say, okay, guys, time to party. And he says, can I ride on your tour bus? Because he was so sick around that whole camp anyway, because at that time, that was the last album with David Lee Roth, and they weren't getting along too well at all. So,
Steve, when Sign in Peace was released back in October of '84, Turn Up the Radio obviously became the big hit. Talk about how things changed for the band when that song was released.
Yeah, it made us more worried.
Right.
Because then we thought, okay, great. Now we've got a hit. Now we got to follow it up and everything. And no, actually, we really, relished the moment. We just thought, the first time we heard it on the radio, we were all together. We were actually in the tour bus, and we just went, wow, this is great, fantastic, and there was a car that pulled up next to us and on the tour bus, it was these two blondes, and they were in a black convertible, and they were listening to Turn Up the Radio. And we were like, we opened up the window on the tour bus, and we're yelling down at them and everything, and we were going, that's us, that's us, and they were laughing. And we said, oh, there's nothing better than a blonde in a black car. There you go. That's the main song off the second album.
Right.
That's how that whole thing came about as well.
Steve, the band's music was featured in a variety of 80s movies back in the day, including Secret Admirer, Fright Night, Youngblood, and one of my favorites, actually, was Like Father, Like Son. Just talk a little bit about how that visibility was and how important it was for you guys back then.
Yeah, they were calling us up. RCA was constantly calling us up, pitching us to do, movie scores, and songs for soundtracks for movies. And we said, yeah, of course we'll do it. So we did usually 2 soundtracks for each different movie that we did, and we were doing, like we said, a lot of stuff with television, with Miami, a couple of episodes of Miami Vice, a couple of episodes of Hunter, and just various TV shows back in the 80s. So we were doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And but yeah, it really exposed us to a lot. In fact, the one where she never wrote that good for me is in the movie Like Father, Like Son, and that was a great time writing that and recording the live video. That's actually, when you see the video, that's us playing that song live on stage.
Wow.
And we were leaving after we got done with that song. We were leaving to go back out on the road. We had to fly as soon as we got done with that video. We had to fly back out to meet up back up with the Motley Crue to finish some more of that tour. But it was interesting that the way that they did it for the filming of the movie, because you have it's a whole different kind of thing when they're filming videos. Then you have video producers and stuff like that. But when you have a major producer and director, doing a major film, these guys are so fast. It's a joke. We got up there and we just did a sound check and everything. They checked the lights and made sure that everything was correct and everything. And then they said, okay, go through the song a couple of times. And they said, okay, one more rehearsal, and then we'll do a real take. And so we did a little rehearsal. And we're all just goofing around up there. I was taking big gulps of water and spitting it all on Kenny, the drummer. And he was throwing drumsticks at me. And while we were playing the song, we were just goofing around because we thought it was just a rehearsal. And they said, and then at the end of the song, they said, okay, that's a take. I went, what? Wait a minute. He said, that was rehearsal. And so they said, no, we do that all the time so that people think it's a rehearsal, so they relax and they do exactly what you did. You guys were perfect. That's a take. We're going to use that one.
That's so funny.
Okay. So that's the way that kind of worked out.
The magic of Hollywood, right? I mean, that's absolutely. And I mean, what I think is great about the Testament of Autograph, that you guys reformed in 2011. You're back doing what you do best. You're back playing live. You got new music. You guys, how much of a testament is it to that era of music, to the 80s rock culture that, you guys just last month played, I think, Rockfest 80s in Florida with, Night Ranger, Bret Michaels, Warrant, Rat, Winger, Slaughter, Lynch Mob, like all these bands. Like, isn't it a testament to that music that here we are 30 years later, and you can still go out and see a lot of these bands live, and it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, we do so many festivals with this lineup of 80s groups. It's bigger than anything right now. Of course, it's bigger than anything doing a revival out there like the 60s or 70s or the 90s. There's just this whole group of people that really love that era of music, and it was melodic. It was stuff that you could sing along to. Most of it was happy. Most of it was upbeat. Before you got the grunge thing, which was about basically the heroin society in Seattle and the suicide stuff in Seattle.
Exactly.
I know, because I'm from up here, so I know about all that kind of stuff. I lived around them a long time, and I'm living here now until October anyway, and then I'm going to be heading off to Florida. I'm moving down by St. Petersburg, Florida.
Very nice.
Anyway, but it really does hold a true testament to what that style of music and the longevity of it was because people, you see them out there singing along with all the songs, and I'm thinking, they remember the lyrics to a lot of our songs. Most of the people out there remember all the lyrics to all our songs. So it's really cool to see that, and it's really cool to see all the other bands playing in these festivals, and everybody's going crazy and singing their lyrics too. I'm thinking, this really did have an impact on people. And you look at it like, I didn't think that much of it because I was in my late 20s, early 30s when we were around. And But a lot of people, you know, this has left a big imprint on their life because of the fact that they were in high school or college or junior high when they were listening to it. So they're quite a bit younger. And so that was their heyday. That was the music and the musicians and the bands that they really looked up to. You know, they really enjoyed, you know. So that was their main thing. And it's you know, the whole band and everybody really appreciates going out there and seeing it again, and as do all the bands that are out there playing again.
Well, it's you guys are getting ready to go back on tour, starting the weekend of, I believe, the 26th. You guys start back out in you start your run again before getting to Kansas City May 28th. So I want everyone to go to autographband.com to check out all the tour dates coming up. You guys are going to be doing the Monsters of Rock cruise, I think, this fall. I mean, just great times. I mean, you got to have some stories from that. You got to come back with some stories. Hopefully no one goes overboard or anything. I mean, my God, that's a lot of rockers on a cruise ship with a lot of alcohol. I hope everyone survives.
You know, the thing is now, it's much different than it was during the 80s. Everything was over the top in the 80s. Sure, we still party and everything. We always go out and meet the bands after the show and all that, and do, you know, have some shots with them or whatever. But it's a lot more controlled now. You know, we don't, because of the fact that we are so busy, we can't let it get out of hand, and nobody really wants to either. You know, they look at it like, you got to hang over the next day when you get on stage now, and it's not fun.
Right? Yeah.
Back in the 80s, believe me. So, yeah, it's a bit different, but it's all good. You know, it's all good because everybody's, you know, much more into really making it happen and really into the new songs and everything, and trying to get those out there. And yeah, so it's been a great ride, and we're going to keep it going for years to come. I
can't wait for that. And I want to encourage everyone to go follow the band on Twitter at Autograph Band, on Facebook. I mean, did you ever think you'd be promoting all your stuff on the internet on a computer? I mean, this is just kind of a bizarre thing. Do you use a lot of Twitter yourself there, Steve? I mean, it's kind of a funny format to be doing this now, isn't it?
But it just kind of worked out like when we got back together. You know, it's like I'm the one that had most of the connections, all the interviewers, they wanted to talk to me basically because, you know, I'm a founding member and everything, and you know, so it's me and actually Simon, and then some interviews Randy does, but it's mainly me, and you know, then you know, the booking agent that we have, he wanted to do most of the stuff through me, so it kind of ended up like the whole tour management thing fell into my lap, and then basically general manager and business manager, because I'm the one that cuts the guys' checks. I'm the one that you know, does all the contract stuff, and I'm the one that advances all the shows. I'm the one that gets paid. I'm the one that takes care of the taxes. So I'm the accountant. I'm everything. You know, it's like, so it just kind of ended up that way, which I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
Well,
so
Steve, I'll tell you what.
Somebody else screw it up. Put it that
right.
way.
Well, hey, yeah, it's your band. If someone's going to screw it up, it's going to be you. I mean, that's absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Steve. We look forward to catching up. We will see you May 28th, of course, at the Scene Rock Bar here in Kansas City. Can't wait for that show. You and Bang Tango going to be playing together. It's going to be a great show, and we will definitely catch up with you. Come say hello that night, and it's just been a pleasure, man. Can't thank you enough. Keep rocking. Keep doing what you guys do, and we appreciate it.
Yes, and we appreciate it as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there, and looking forward to seeing everybody else there. And remember to hang out after the show. We'll come out and say hi to everybody and take pictures and sign autographs, whatever you want, you know, because we're out there for the people as well.
That's wonderful, Steve. I can't wait. We will see you May 28th, and have a good start to the tour. And, man, we'll catch up, man. Can't wait. Take care, and we will see you soon, man.
You got it. Looking forward to it. Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye now.
Guys, thank you very much for listening. We can't thank Steve Lynch enough for joining us today, and everybody needs to get out and, first of all, see the show if you can, if you're in Kansas City, May 28th, but autograph.com is where y'all need to go to see exactly what's going on with that band.
Please do. Go out and support these guys. Steve Lynch, one of the best guitarists of the 80s. Autographband.com, that is the website. And check it out. Check out all the dates. Like Steve said, they're hoping to get some new music out soon, maybe do an album. That would be wonderful to hear. Paul, as we say this, as I'm speaking, we are getting ready to get in the car, buckle up, blast someone's iPod, hopefully mine. I got more songs on mine. Yeah. And head to Rocklahoma in my grandpa's 99 Ford Taurus, because that's what we decided, you know, our cars probably won't make it.
Beats renting a car.
It does do that, man. Paul, you know, we've been doing this now for, you know, for quite a while. It's, on a personal note, it's just a pleasure to sit in here with you every week. to do these interviews, to have you help me out, because you are someone that lived this era. You have more knowledge and more stories to share than I do, because, let's face it, I wasn't alive until 1984. I've made up for it since.
Absolutely. Your knowledge just absolutely blows me away. I mean, to think. I mean, you're basically almost 20 years younger than me, Clint. And, it's incredible the knowledge that you have of that era, and for me to get to relive it again right here, there's no better feeling, buddy.
Thanks, man. Well, let's get in the car. Let's head out. The cooler's packed. The bags are packed. We're heading to Rocklahoma. We'll have a report of that show when we return, if we return. So thank you guys so much for listening. Please hit us up on all our social medias at @MusicMania_show on Twitter. I know that was a lot. Just search for Music Mania Podcast on that one.
Right.
Man,
and some bail money if you got a chance.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for listening.